Well, thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Corey Johnson. We're following breaking news right now out of Hillsborough, where the Washington County Courthouse has been evacuated following a bomb threat. KGW's John Adams joins us live right now from that scene. John, what are we learning?
Yeah, Corey, we just received a word here in the last 10 minutes, in fact, from a Washington County Sheriff's Office spokesperson that the building has been given the all clear and employees are returning to the building as we speak. I'm going to step out of the way so we can take a look at what's going on here. Just a few minutes ago, there were actually probably about a dozen or so Washington County Sheriff's deputies standing right where we're standing right now in front of the building. And we have just been, like I said, in the last 10 minutes, the building was given the all clear. They moved out and we were able to move up on the sidewalk here. Now, this all started earlier this morning when a staff person here at the courthouse received a call that only lasted a couple seconds, we were told, but someone on the phone told them that they had placed multiple bombs in multiple locations here in the courthouse. Now, that, of course, triggered an evacuation of the building, and we know that crews with the Washington County Sheriff's Office went room by room here in this building, checking everything to make sure there were in fact no bombs or suspicious devices in the building. And the all clear from that initial search came back just in the last 15 minutes ago or so. But as of right now, the building has been given the all clear. Employees are able to re-enter. We were told that this could have possibly been a swatting attempt on this building here. But court business, of course, was interrupted when this took place. We even saw people here on scene that looked like they were about to have a wedding, to be married here at the courthouse. And we saw them outside waiting to go back in. Court business is going to start back up at 1 p.m. here, and employees are now re-entering the building. The threat here is over. Corey.
All right, John Adams reporting live for us in Hillsborough. Thank you, John. Well, the state of Oregon and the Trump administration are once again squaring off in federal court. Oregon pushing to turn a temporary restraining order which blocks the deployment of troops into something more permanent. Thomas Schultz has the latest details on what we've learned so far.
Well, the most startling revelation from day one of this trial is that 9 National Guard troops were deployed one afternoon and evening after a federal judge ruled that deployment couldn't happen due to a temporary restraining order. In court yesterday, that federal judge told Trump administration lawyers, quote, "We'll discuss later whether that's contempt." The courtroom was packed as Oregon, California, and the city of Portland take on the Trump administration. The trial began with Portland police taking the stand and testifying that they have control of the situation outside the ICE facility in South Portland. For months, a small group of protesters have gathered outside the facility, occasionally clashing with federal officers. Oregon, California, and Portland argue the Trump administration is overstepping its authority by deploying National Guard troops.
This is a systematic attempt by the president to really attack pillars of our democracy.
The feds argue the president has the right to deploy federalized troops, saying federal officers at the ICE facility are stretched thin and need help protecting the building. The state of Oregon is seeking a permanent injunction to block the troop deployment. Legal experts also say that this is an interesting litmus test over state sovereignty as well as presidential powers. They also add that whatever the ruling here is, it's likely to be appealed. In downtown Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
And while the courts grapple with whether sending troops down here is justified, last night protesters once again leaned into what makes Portland weird by holding a dance party outside the ICE building. Now, police say after monitoring the ICE building last night, they did not see any disruptive behavior and that no new arrests were made. KGW's Alma McCarty was there last night and brings us the latest.
While a DJ sets up speakers outside Portland's ICE facility.
Liberty and freedom. A government that serves the people, not a people that are subservient to the government.
Vincent Hawkins assembles small American flags to hand out to the small crowd.
It feels like democracy itself is under threat. It really is.
It's what's driven him to keep coming back here week after week.
This is a stage. We know it. The guys in uniform up on the roof know that this is a stage. They're trying to produce propaganda. They're trying to produce content that says Portland's full of criminals.
To combat that narrative,
the bravest form of whimsy you'll ever see.
I know it sounds cliche, but love does always win.
Wednesday's crew, neither large nor violent, certainly showed passion. From the inflatable costumes, a new protest staple, to an appearance by a llama.
And 99% of the time down here, it is still whimsical and fun. And that's what we're about, is community and connecting, because through that we can, become more resilient.
Dance protests, the idea to dance, to show feelings, to represent a cause, that is not new at all. It is global. It seeps into every culture across ages. And it's beautiful.
Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Family and friends of a Hillsborough man detained earlier this month by federal agents are now demanding his release. Victor Cruz was detained by authorities, even though, according to his family, he had the paperwork proving he could legally live and work in the country. And family members say agents were searching for a different individual with the same name, someone who reportedly had a criminal record.
This administration is working hard to divide us, painting immigrants as animals, lying and saying they're only detaining criminals, but we have seen that's not true.
So many people have green cards and have been in America for years. They are sad and they don't understand. They are not criminals.
Now, Cruz is currently being held in Tacoma. We reached out to Homeland Security, but they did not clarify why Cruz was detained. And if you live in Portland's Alameda neighborhood, the state wants you to keep an eye out for coyotes. This after one grabbed a 9-year-old by the foot while they were playing outside. Thankfully, that child managed to escape, but the coyote did chase after them. That child's father scared off the coyote by yelling at it, and the child was then taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Now, the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife is reminding you to watch young children while they're playing outside. And now it's time for a look at your Thursday forecast with Rod Hill. How you doing, Rod?
Hey, doing well. We have a lot of clouds out there, Corey, but no rain, and we're not expecting any.
Oh, good.
And in fact, this is the only day on my 7-day forecast with no rain chance. So obviously this catches your eye. That's the system coming in tomorrow, and I will have coming up an update on the timing of when we think we start to get rain on Halloween. Ahead of that, this batch of clouds, which is pushing slowly across all of Oregon and Washington, is mid to high level cloudiness. No moisture with it, but so far it has been relatively thick in nature, and we are expecting the clouds to go ahead and clear out at some point. Here's a look at some live cameras for you. Timberline Lodge, cloudy skies up at the lodge right now. Just the same as we have here in Portland. And here's a good view of how thick those clouds are. They're actually thicker than I thought they would be, but they are going to move past. And a little bit later today, you'll notice the clouds starting to thin back out. Same scene over our state capitol. We're at 58 degrees, so we are warming up. We don't really expect temperatures to change much this afternoon. Again, the bigger story is the one I'm going to hold off for about 7 more minutes to tell you, and that's the update on the Halloween rain forecast. Corey?
We can't wait to hear it. Thanks, Rod. And a quick traffic alert for you today. ODOT says it'll have what are called rolling slowdowns. This is crews do some work on the roadways. Now, until 2 this afternoon, you can expect slowdowns and lane closures on sections of I-5, I-405, I-84, and I-205. Now, that's for scheduled graffiti cleanup. Meanwhile, on Highway 217 in Beaverton, crews will be performing emergency pothole repairs. Make sure to monitor tripcheck.com for the latest on those slowdowns. Developing this afternoon, police in Vancouver are now looking for a rape suspect they say cut off his ankle monitor and failed to appear in court Wednesday. Take a look at your screen right now. This is Todd Hubbard. Police posted this on Facebook saying he was ordered to wear a GPS ankle monitor as part of his pretrial release conditions and was also scheduled to plead guilty on Wednesday, but he did not show up. If you see him, you're asked to call 911. The father of a Lincoln County toddler who disappeared and was found dead is now being charged with neglect. 2-year-old Dane Paulson went missing from his home in Siletz in March, sparking a massive 10-day search. Now, his body was later found in the Siletz River. At that time, investigators had said there was no foul play, but new court documents say Dane's father, Aaron Paulson, left him unattended long enough to put his safety at risk. Aaron is now set to make his first court appearance next week. And a statue of Abraham Lincoln that stood in Portland for nearly a century before being torn down is now set to return. The statue stood on the South Park blocks from 1927 until protesters toppled it in October 2020. After a year of restoration work, it's now scheduled to be reinstalled early next year.
These monuments mean different things to different community members, and above all, what folks really want is more conversation and engagement with history.
Now, the statues of Theodore Roosevelt and George Washington will also be restored beginning in early 2026. The Lincoln statue will have some new signage providing more context about the president's role in American history.